So yeah, moving on to UP. So
Yeah.
how do you see Mr. Yogi or BJP coming to power in the next assembly election?
See, if I look at it, uh, if I'm right, they won around 312 seats in 2017 election.
Hmm.
If I'm right, I think it was 325 or 317, 312. Let me just know the exact number.
Sure.
I think they held 312 seats in the 2017 election. In the 2019 Lok Sabha election, if we transpose just to the assembly election, they won 275 seats, and you had a big alliance. The Mahagathbandhan came into picture. Now, I don't see a Mahagathbandhan coming into picture at this point in time, because at the end of the day, I think Ms. Mayawati has got a very, 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 very valid problem. She says, my votes will get transferred to Samajwadi Party, but Samajwadi's votes will not get transferred to my party, particularly in assembly election. Okay, this has been a problem. In parliament election, it can be a different story altogether. In assembly election, it's because it's a coalition where two unnatural allies. Because the core vote base of Ms. Mayawati has been Jata votes. It's not even SC votes. It's Jata votes. And the core vote base of Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, Akhilesh Yadav is Muslim and Yadav votes. Okay. So when an alliance is not going to be formed, and if it is going to be a four-way contest, I can't even mention it as four-way contest, remove Congress from the picture. Okay. I don't see a big problem for Mr. Yogi Adityanath. Okay. And number two, he's been a chief minister who has performed exceedingly well, but the media is playing a very important role of not reporting things. But at the end of the day, the caste equations need to come into picture. Okay. We will have to wait and watch how the Brahmins are going to vote in 2022, which is a very important, crucial vote base. Now, Apna Dal has come into the fold. Now, I'm also expecting Nishad votes to come to the BJP fold. There should not be a challenge as far as the Brahmin votes are concerned. If the Brahmin votes are going to come, then we can see BJP winning with a comfortable majority of around 290 to 300 seats. If there is going to be a challenge on that front, it could be 250, 260 seats. So at this point in time, although it's too early for me, last time I visited Uttar Pradesh was before Corona, which was in 2020 January. I was there. I was there in 2020 January. I was in UP, and 2020 February I was in Bihar. So it's a long time. But when I went there, it was very clear. I traveled to a large part. I'd been to Lucknow. I'd been to Prayagraj. I'd been to Ayodhya. I'd been to Varanasi. So I'd been to Sitapur. So I traveled through a fair distance covered. You can never say that you covered entire UP because it's a country by itself.
Big one, yeah.
Okay, big one. But to my knowledge, the people were happy with Modi and people were happy with Yogi. But once again, I would probably like to revisit the place and see how it goes, because it's too early also. But right now, if you ask me, BJP would start with an advantage.
Got it. So hopefully the internal noise that was there, probably created by media, I don't know. The internal noise is all kind of gone now with all the discussions internally that they've happened and that they've done. So.
See, you should know, Anand, that I was on a TV show on a national channel about vaccines. Okay, it was a national channel. I was joined by BJP spokesman. I was joined by a Congress spokesman. I was joined by an AAP spokesman, and I was joined by a journalist. And Mr. Bhupen was the one who was anchoring the show. I made a statement that even Uttar Pradesh today is not getting the vaccines proportionate to their population because it's a big state. So I said there is no bias towards BJP or non-BJP states. It is basically, I'm projecting this. I'm saying that there is no bias. If you look at it, it's the way it is. I'm talking with data and statistics. Immediately, a Congress spokesperson jumps. Yes, you are right. It is because Modi does not like Yogi and he has differences with Yogi, he is not giving vaccines to Uttar Pradesh. Now, you know pretty well who is setting the narrative. Okay. I have a live example here. I'm on a TV show on a
Yeah.
national channel, and this is
Yeah.
what is happening. So it's also the whole thing that, you know, Modi Yogi problem, Modi Yogi, all creation of opposition narratives. There is no substance to it. Okay. And also dissension will be there in a state like Uttar Pradesh. There will be dissension. Even Mr. Kalyan Gupta had his dissent. Even Mr. Kalraj Mishra had his dissidents. And then even when Mr. Rajnath Singh was the chief minister, a very tall leader, there were dissidents. So as a result of which you will have, but it is being managed. It is being managed internally.
Right. But Yogi Ji's performance shows on the ground, right? So a lot of highways have been completed. Okay, in one show I was looking at that. So a lot of highways, then law and order situation is much better based on what people are saying there. So these are topmost things where it was a big problem earlier, right? Several years
I
back.
could travel. I don't travel late in the night, but I could travel up to 10:30, 11 o'clock in UP. I traveled everywhere by car only. From keeping Lucknow as the base, I traveled to various parts. The law and order was good. It was safe. The roads were fantastic. The administration was good enough. And I had visited UP before. To be precise, I had visited UP in 2007, 2008, and then somewhere in 2011, 13 and all I visited. That Uttar Pradesh and the Uttar Pradesh which I visited in 2020 are not the same. Trust me, Lucknow itself is transforming into a great city. It's transforming itself into a great city. You must see the kind of people talking about Prayagraj. They talked about the kind of arrangements he had made just before the Kumbh, which happened a few years back. And you must see the auto drivers, the e-rickshaw. It's not auto drivers, it's the e-rickshaw drivers, because I keep speaking to all those kind of people, and they were all unanimous in their opinion that it is a very good government which is in place. So there is absolutely no doubt about that. It's just that the media does not want to cover it, does not want to show it, but that doesn't mean that you can hide from the reality for long.
Got it. Let's see what comes up.